Hey guys, my name is Abhishek and welcome back to MBBS Treasure channel. Today we are going to read about anatomy, physiology, histology of external ear, middle ear and internal ear. So first of all we are going to discuss about external ear. So let's begin our today's topic. So friends, in this video we are going to discuss all about external ear. Okay, we know that ear is a part of auditory system, and to prove that we should know that exact location of ear and what are the parts of ear, where are the parts are exactly located inside our skull. So these are all important before reading the pathology conditions related to ear. So first of all, we should know the anatomy, physiology and histology of external, then middle and then finally the inner ear. So in this video, we are going to talk about external ear only. So first of all, you should know that external ear consists of three parts. What are they? The pinna, the external acoustic meatus and the tympanic membrane. So if we are going to say that this external ear, what do you mean by that external ear, and what is the exact limitation from where we are going to call it as external part of ear? So for understanding that thing, we should have a knowledge about the cranium or outside to the cranium or exact location of this external ear. So for that, we should know the exact cranial location of or exact anatomical location of external ear. Here you can see I have made a skull, and inside skull we know the fossas are present. This is the anterior cranial fossa. This blue part represents the middle cranial fossa, and to the posterior it has posterior cranial fossa. So in the middle cranial fossa we have our ear structure or ear organ, and in exactly over the middle cranial fossa we have middle and inner ear, and to the lateral side of middle cranial fossa we have this external ear. So here the red diagram represents the external ear and the green box represents the middle ear, and here we have cochlear, vestibule or semicircular canals representing the inner ear. So these are the parts which are found in the or over the middle cranial fossa and to lateral cranial fossa. So this is the anatomical location that you should know before reading the external ear. These are the landmarks through which you can differentiate or separate the three important part of ear: external, middle and inner. Okay, so next question comes here, that what is the conductive system of ear? As we know, we are reading about the auditory system, so there will be a proper systematic manner of conduction of sound waves through which we are going to recognize that sound, okay, or we are going to produce our stimuli against that sound. For that whole system, we have a proper conductive system from the beginning of the external ear till reaching the inner ear and finally to the brain cortex. Okay, so for conduction of sound in ear, we have to travel from this part till this part. So starting from external ear, and as we know, the external ear has three parts: pinna, external acoustic meatus and tympanic membrane. So the sound needs to cover these three anatomical structures. Like that similar manner, first it will be pinna. Okay, the outermost structure of the external ear is the pinna. Then after it will be covering the external acoustic meatus. Then from tympanic membrane through ear ossicles by mechanical vibrations the sound will be transversed to oval window and finally reaching the cochlea. And cochlea is present in the inner ear. All we are going to cover in middle and inner ear. So for now we are reading about external ear, and that conducting system of external ear have the parts pinna, external acoustic meatus and tympanic membrane. Here This diagram represents the external ear, then the external acoustic meatus, the pinna, external acoustic meatus, and this structure represents the tympanic membrane, and behind the tympanic membrane we have middle ear. Okay. Then we are going to read about each of its structure, what its anatomy, what is its physiology, and what could be the important landmarks that are present in these anatomical structures. Okay, so we are going to discuss the first part of external ear, that is pinna, or otherwise known as auricle. First of all, it is a yellow elastic cartilage. Okay, structurally it is made up of elastic cartilage, and anterolaterally it is concave in shape. If we are going to see in anterolaterally, it will be concave in shape, and if we are going to see posterior part or posterior medial part, it is convex. Okay, so this is the structure of pinna, which is completely made up of cartilage, and it never ossifies in life. It remains as elastic cartilage forever. And if we are going to see anterolaterally, it is concave, and posteromedially it is convex. Here you can see certain structures that are present in the pinna. What are these? First of all, this ridging surface, here you can see it is called as helix, and after that, or next to the helix, we have antihelix. Here the helix that will be limiting the structure of the external ear, or limiting the structure of the pinna, or dividing it into two parts. One is concha cymba and cavum cymba. This structure has its own anatomical importance, like exactly behind this structure or cymba concha we have mastoid antrum. Okay, then here you can see a structure that is tragus. Anterior to it we have antitragus, and covering the tragus we have external acoustic meatus. This is the opening of external acoustic meatus, and it is mostly covered by the tragus. This incisura is known as incisura santorini, which has its own surgical importance. So these are the structures that are present in the pinna. What is the function of pinna? As it is a helping hand in perceiving the sound energy, so it acts as a collector of sound that amplifies the sound to mostly twice the actual sound and increasing its resonance. Okay, by amplifying or increasing the volume by collecting the sound waves. So it acts as a collector. Next, it is also helping in orthotopic. Orthotopic means the distance between the right and left ear, it balances or it remains constant, that is 21 centimeter. Third one, it has its cosmetic or aesthetic value. Means if it will remain incomplete, if during the process of ontogenesis it will remain incomplete, so it will not look good, and for that reason we need to have a cosmetic or good ear. So it also helps in that cosmetic or aesthetic value. Next, the external acoustic meatus, or otherwise known as external acoustic or external auditory canal. Its length is around 2.5 centimeter. Starting from the external acoustic meatus behind the tragus, we are having the external acoustic meatus or external auditory canal, and it ends at the tympanic membrane. As we know that external ear have the part pinna, then the external acoustic meatus and tympanic membrane, and we have already discussed about pinna. Now we are going to discuss about the anatomy and functioning, physiological function of this external acoustic meatus. So what we can see here, that behind tragus we have the opening of the external acoustic meatus, and this external acoustic meatus has two parts, that is, one is the cartilaginous part and other one is the bony part. What do you mean by this? Laterally it has fibrocartilaginous part, and medially or innerward it has bony part. lateral 1/3 and medial 2/3. So first it has fibrocartilaginous part, and the next medial part it is bony part. It is mostly covered by stratified squamous epithelium, and it has ceruminous gland, sebaceous gland, or ceruminous gland is nothing but the modified sweat gland, and it is a modified apocrine gland that helps in production of cerumen or the ear wax. And it has two parts that I have said, that it is fibrocartilaginous and bony part, and it is present in the ratio of 1:2, that lateral to medial. Ligament annulare is the narrowest part lateral to the tympanic membrane. Okay, so here we have a narrowest part lateral to tympanic membrane, around 6 mm lateral to the tympanic membrane, that is known as isthmus. So this region is known as isthmus, and to this bony part of external acoustic meatus we have an attachment that attaches the tympanic membrane and bony part of external acoustic meatus. What is that? It is ligamentum annulare. I have not written here. It is ligamentum annulare. Okay, so here we have an ligament that connects the tympanic membrane with the bony part of external acoustic meatus. Next, incisura santorini, that I have said here, that between tragus and antitragus we have incisura santorini, that it has its own surgical importance, and this fissure it is mostly when the incision takes place during the process of surgery. Mostly the incision takes place in this incisura santorini. Then what is the function of external acoustic meatus? Here the pinna was able to collect the sound waves, and next the external acoustic meatus will conduct the sound waves through the hollow cylindrical tube. It will help in conduction of the sound wave. It helps in protection. How? As it has ceruminous glands, hairs or sweat glands, so through that it helps in protection. And finally resonatory, as the pinna was able to make the collection of sound, amplify the sound or increase the volume of sound, and also it helps in increasing the resonance. This external acoustic meatus, it acts as a hollow tube, and as we know, as the sound waves passes through a hollow tube, the hollow tubes helps in increasing the resonance of the sound wave. Similarly, here the external acoustic meatus will act as an resonator that will increase the resonance by 10 decibel. Okay. Next, what is the relation of external acoustic meatus? Initially, I have explained the anatomical position of the ear. Through that, we are going to read the walls of external acoustic meatus. Okay. Simply think that it is a it's like a hollow tube or a pen, and it has four walls, like superior wall, inferior wall, anterior wall, and to its posterior wall. So what are its wall? To its superior wall means this external acoustic meatus, we have middle cranial fossa. To its superior part we have middle cranial fossa. To its inferior part, what we'll have? Into its inferior part we will have the parotid gland. And processus pyramidalis of palatine bone, and anterior to external acoustic meatus we have temporomandibular joint, and posterior to the external acoustic meatus we have mastoid antrum, okay, or processus mastoideus. So this question is very important. You should know about the wall relation of external acoustic meatus. To its superior we have middle cranial fossa. To its inferior we have processus pyramidalis of the parotid gland. To its anterior we have temporomandibular joint, and to its posterior we have processus mastoideus. So this is the important question related to the external acoustic meatus. Next we are going to discuss about the tympanic membrane. After the external acoustic meatus, the next part of the external ear that we have here is the tympanic membrane. It's a trimeric structure. Trimeric means it's a three-layered structure. and it is formed by ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. These three layers, the external or the lateral layer of the tympanic membrane is mostly skin. Okay, the epithelial layer that is formed by the ectoderm, and the middle layer is mostly fibrous, and that fibrous layer is formed from the mesoderm. And to its medial side of the tympanic membrane, means the side towards the inner the middle layer, we have the mucosal layer of tympanic membrane. So it is made up of three layers. Okay. Next, this trimeric structure is again divided into two parts. Like, as it is a connective tissue membrane, so it is divided into two parts. One is the pars tensa. This whole part represents the pars tensa, and this bluish region represents the pars flaccida. Okay, why tensa? Tensa means it is mostly tensed structure, and it is held mostly tight by the ligament annulare that connects the bony part of the external acoustic meatus, and this fibrous part is mostly flaccid, and it has areolar connective tissue. And as the tympanic membrane is a connective tissue, so this pars tensa is made up of dense connective tissue, and this pars flaccida is made up of areolar connective tissue. This tympanic membrane connects to the external acoustic meatus with ligament annulare, as I have said there. And what is the function of tympanic membrane? Tympanic membrane lies in between the external acoustic meatus and the middle ear, so it helps in the process of separation and protection. And finally, as this tympanic membrane able to vibrate, and behind the tympanic membrane we have ear ossicles that is attached to its structure. This is the light of cone, this is the umbo, this is the handle of malleus, and this is the short process of malleus. And as you know, there we have anterior fold and posterior fold. So here we have the ear ossicles that is attached with this tympanic membrane. So when the sound wave is coming in this direction, it will put pressure on this tympanic membrane, and that pressure is going to vibrate the tympanic membrane, so that there will be change in energy or transformation of energy from the sound energy to mechanical energy. Due to vibration, we are going to see the same vibration in ear ossicles. Due to vibration of tympanic membrane, that vibration will pass along the ear ossicles, and same vibration will again pass from the ear ossicles, and it will beat the oval window. And finally, we are going to see the same vibration at cochlear fluid. All we are going to see in the middle and inner ear. So this was all about the external ear, where we learnt about the parts of external ear, that is pinna, external acoustic meatus, and the tympanic membrane. Okay, so I hope this video will help you in understanding the external ear. If this video was helpful, please do like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much for watching my videos.